Yeah, so I mean, mostly what I do is I have conversations with birds. Uh-huh. No, 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 yeah. Once I realized the birds were sapients, I was like, damn, I gotta like spend all my time focused on what the birds are talking about. Because, like, humans got one thing going, and then there's everybody else in the entire universe. And if we don't think about that, we're not, our plans are stupid. We're just doing a bunch of stupid human stuff without even considering what the hell everybody else has going on. And that just seems bad. I don't know. Like, I kind of get the vibe that all of our plans are kind of not good plans. There's a word for that that starts with R. I'm never quite sure if that's appropriate to say. I kind of feel like it describes, the vast bulk of humanity and most of their activities on this sad blue marble of a planet. But that's probably just my cynicism because I'm like right next to Langley, where they do mysterious things, possibly involving chemtrails. Uh, some of the planes that fly around have normal water condensing behind them, and some of it doesn't look normal at all. So that could be anything. I mean, like most of what the government and especially the military is up to pretty much is secret forever, and nobody's ever going to tell them, "Hey, you stop that," because nobody's ever going to even know it happens. That's like true of most things, that matter. Not to be confused with my sad little life, which clearly does not matter in any way whatsoever. Uh, yeah. Anyway, so again, mostly I'm trying to have a conversation with the birds. They got kind of quiet because of the multiple fighter jets that were taking off and or landing. That's pretty routine. Langley's an Air Force base, and planes take off and land, and it's really loud. And you know, I don't know whether the plane's taking off or landing. They could be headed to the Gaza Strip to like dump a bunch of chemicals on starving orphans or like build a hospital out of asbestos or whatever. Or they could be headed to, I'm going to go with Santa Fe, to open a crystal shop and heal the heart of some white ladies. I don't know. It's really impossible to say. And that's the world. The world that we live in is mostly secret. Most of the matter in the universe is dark matter. Most of the energy is dark energy. Sometimes a Chinese man will try to tell you that there's no such thing as dark energy, but there is. We think it's dark because we don't know what the hell, how to find it. It's missing. We have a bunch of theories about the universe and the places where the math doesn't work. We're like, well, okay, there's something there. Making the math not work. It would work except for a bunch of this stuff where we have to kind of fudge it, and that's dark energy, and there's lots of it, and we don't know what it's doing, and we're scared. We're always really, really, really scared. This is actually the sound of someone who is as scared as it's possible to be. I got so scared that it just doesn't register anymore. Like any one of those things that I don't know about could just pop out of the bushes at any time and just shoot me in the head. Or worse, probably worse. Like, instant death would be a mercy, in my opinion. I don't want to get sent to Abu Ghraib A little personal fact. My first girlfriend was actually the daughter of a medic at Guantanamo Bay. You know, military brats, their dads are always doing war crimes or covering up for war crimes or playing a song about war crimes that their ancestors committed a century ago or doing paperwork or watching a PowerPoint presentation from a guy who doesn't really have a reason to be there. He's just checking a box. It's all boxes and manuals and paperwork. When you're doing something and you're like on a mission, oh yeah, hey, see, you know what's up, right? So that bird over there, he's like, yeah, you're right. You know what's up. You know your whole life involves looking for seeds, and if you find a seed, right, then you can eat the seed. Awesome, your belly's full. What's not to like? That's distinguished from the largely abstract concerns of these primates, especially the ones in uniform, who are really like there's signs and symbols and procedures and manuals and SOPs and regulations, and technically there's even laws. Sometimes, not usually, but sometimes there's laws technically that might almost matter to someone if they were to ever find out. But like when you think about it, a law is really a threat, and you know when you're threatening someone, and they have a gun and a secret base somewhere, and you don't. I mean, that's not much of a threat. So really, laws are kind of fake. Uh, but like that's the kind of thing. You know, mind control is very real, and your boss being mad at you is like super duper real. It's kind of like if your dad was mad at you, but like significantly worse and scarier and louder, usually. Uh, so what I'm really trying to say is, and I don't really know how to say that to you, but I mean, reincarnation is kind of like being promoted, and in corporate business, there's something called, I think it's the Peter Principle, which is that everybody gets promoted to their level of incompetence. You do a good job at one level and they promote you to the next level, and then that's a different kind of thing, so you're not as good at it, and so you don't get promoted anymore. So everybody kind of stops at the level where they stop being effective, and uh, everyone's everyone's skills are used as little as possible. And that turns out to be kind of how reincarnation works. I truly miss being a bird or a dog or a bug or something every day of my life. I think there's way too much abstract human stuff happening. It basically keeps us in some kind of childlike state forever, where we're not really able to believe anything that we see. So we just sort of tentatively walk through the world, you know, going along with the dream that we happen to be in at the moment, but knowing we're about to wake up, and all of the things that we've just been doing like will be entirely meaningless. And I feel like, you know, the other birds just got to worry about some seeds. You know, don't get got by the outdoor cats. I hear there's some outdoor cats around here. You know, it's kind of interesting. For a long time, human scientists thought that cats were supposed to be solitary hunters because they looked at European wildcats, which are solitary hunters. But the cats that we have around here aren't from Europe. They're actually from Africa. And African wildcats aren't solitary hunters at all. They have complex family structures. And I'm envious on a soul deep level. In the marrow of my bones, I'm envious of African wildcats for their complex social structures and their ability to hunt as a pack, and uh, their capacity to feel connected to other animals, just on any level, on even a basic level, having a sense of like being part of something like a community or indeed even a family, without it feeling like a dream they're about to wake up from. So that's another reason why, not to like cry about it or anything,